Foley winds up running in to count a pin here in the main event when Van Dam has Orton pinned. And the next week on Raw, Foley makes it Goldberg versus Kane. Bischoff's going to start berating Foley. It winds up where he gets a Mr. Sacco in the mouth as the show's going off the air. And the Foley deal, according to Meltzer, came together very quickly. But the next week would feature an unpromoted appearance of a big time movie star, The Rock. The Rock is here, and everybody loses their freaking mind. I'm curious from your perspective, is this something you remember being involved in? Is this Rock calling Vince, Vince calling Rock? You're running talent relations. What's your role in all of this? Is getting him in the fold in time for WrestleMania season?
Kind of a liaison communicator. Rock, as evidenced by what he wrote for our book. He and I have always been close, and because I never lied to him, he always knew I respected his heritage, his legacy. We always had good working relationships. So I was involved to that degree where I could answer questions or give him information on the schedule or what have you, without a problem. But he did primarily all of his stuff with Vince. And that's a smart move by Vince, quite frankly. So I think that he's just a winner. He's a winner, and I really appreciate what he said about us and on his book, our book. So good dude. But yeah, how could you not be paying attention? Because he was a legitimate difference maker, and getting him back on the team and back where we could see him more regularly was an important move in my view.
The way The Rock returns is saving Mick Foley from La Resistance. And it's not just beneficial for the company, it's also beneficial for The Rock. He's going to be promoting his new movie he's got coming out in April, Walking Tall. With The Rock headed in, somehow, some way, Nathan Jones decides to go AWOL and go home.
Yeah.
Jones is in Perth and walks into the show and tells people he's quitting the company and leaving the business and didn't work the show. Mind you, because he's Australian, he's been tasked to do a lot of media work to promote the event. Were you on this tour? How do you hear about Nathan Jones just walking out? Were you surprised by that?
Well, yeah. Nathan didn't travel well. And Nathan sometimes had his downfall was his people skills. His look, his facials, his body, par excellence. Perfect big heel body that would eventually turn babyface, and he would got over. He just didn't like to travel. He didn't understand the business as well as we would like for him to. I don't know how much he invested in, learning customs, what's accepted, what isn't. So, but I was not totally shocked that he left. It just he never seemed comfortable. Put it that way. But man, oh man, what a physical package he was. Golly, he was pretty amazing. So you never know. That's one of the things I always wonder about. Could be another chapter for a book. Is guys that you wonder how would this have worked out if things had been different.
Right.
I don't know what we could do to make Nathan comfortable in his surroundings. You got to be a good traveler because you're going to travel a lot. And for a 7-foot guy, sometimes that's really, really daunting.
What's Vince's take on this? I mean, the word we heard as fans was he was a Vince project, he being Nathan Jones, pronoun boy.
Yeah.
When he hears, hey, his big monster, his personal pet project, he just walked off. He's out. He's gone. Does he blow a gasket? Or is it just business as usual?
I don't think he blew a gasket. I think he was disappointed.
Yeah.
That it didn't work out because we had high expectations and high hopes for Nathan. It just was not meant to be. And sometimes, no matter how good a manager you want to be, or you try to be, sometimes there's just nothing that you can do about it. You can't change a guy's basic personality. If you don't like to travel and you don't want to be on the road, this is not the business for you. So I think that's kind of where we left it. It was not meant to be. But I often wondered how great Nathan could have been if things had been different. But we'll never know.
And the travel is probably the big issue. I mean, it's interesting when you talk about, some of these guys who, had they been able to make it work, what their lives could have looked like. But the travel, I mean, I wonder how many people just got out of the business because of the travel. Keep bringing that up for Nathan because the story goes, he's got a flight where he's in Korea to Singapore to Perth, and there's a layover in Russia. And this tour is just enough. He'd rather do anything else than this.
Right.
That's a shame, but it is like the necessary evil of the wrestling business.
Right.
As you said, you're going to have to be a good traveler.
Well, but like I said earlier, the illustration I used earlier was the fact that Cowboy made sure he took care of Ernie Ladd, the booker, and JYD, his top star. He bought them cars. They're traveling on the road, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and that's not an exaggeration. But there's things we couldn't do anything about. All those connections and getting from one international city to the other sometimes was out of the company's control. I know that AEW did a phenomenal job of getting everybody to London and safely, and everybody showed up. Here we are, and let's go do this thing for 80,000 people. So I still get a kick out of fans thinking that number is fabricated. And I know that it wasn't. So it's like, well, JR just saying that. Okay, well, whatever. Believe what you want. Seriously. Believe what the hell you want. But I can tell you that the 80,000 and change was real and legitimate and something that Tony Khan and AEW should be very, very proud of. That's no easy feat. And it looks like, Conrad, that the tickets are doing pretty good on the next one.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.